And welcome back to Friday Briefing. It's now the moment that we have all been waiting for. I know I've been waiting for this moment. Let's have our conversation with our guest anchor tonight, Charles Ndegwa. They also call you Chanchori.
Yes.
What does that name mean, Chanchori?
I have no idea. Just my high school guys just dropped it on me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, though it evolved from something very weird.
Is it shareable on live TV?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so where did it come from?
I think I was in Form 2.
Okay.
And something happened at school. At least that's what I remember for now, because it was so long ago.
Okay.
And they started just calling me Chinese, and then it involved to Ching Chong, and then Chang Wing.
Yeah.
All this. By the time we got to Form 4, though, it had evolved to Chanchori.
Chanchori.
Yeah, something I settled with,
Interesting
when I
name.
just left school. Yeah.
We all have interesting names. Mine is Babji. But anyway, I'm not the focus tonight. So talk to us about who is Charles Chanchori Ndegwa? I mean, we already know the story. I mean, very many Kenyans have gotten to read it here locally and even internationally. Yeah. But so reintroduce yourself to us. What do you do?
I go to school at the Kenya School of Law.
Right.
Just started the other day, though. I think this is my 3rd week.
Okay.
And normally I'm just a guy. I don't know how to go. I'm just a Kenyan who writes.
Okay.
And who walks the streets like everyone else, and who just like any other guy in the streets.
All right.
Yeah.
So did you make a lot of money from having an Uber until you're able now to join the Kenya School of Law because you started the other day?
Well, this Uber. Okay. Let's not. I don't have an Uber.
Okay.
Right. This story was total fiction. I know this is me breaking too many hearts right away.
Yeah, actually, just hold on there. Just take us slowly, because most of us, I mean, I read the story, and you could see the conversation that it elicited online. Very many people were gripped by the story itself because it sounded so real. So are you telling us tonight that it's not real? Are you breaking so many of our hearts tonight?
Yes, sorry guys. I can hear the sound of breaking hearts.
Yes, everybody's just
right
like,
here,
I can see people at home, they're like, I knew it. I knew it was, because it was so crazy. But I want you to first just take us through the whole story. I mean, what led you to write such a story? Is it an experience you heard somebody else going through? Or is it just you sat down and you thought about it and wrote about it?
Originally I wanted to write about an Uber guy just going through his night.
Why Uber?
Why Uber? Because everyone uses Uber.
Why couldn't you do like somebody in a fast food restaurant going about their day? Why an Uber driver?
Because an Uber driver, anyone can get into your space, and you don't know who that is. So you get to ride with drunk people, people in love, insane
abusive people.
Yeah, abused people, people with their own issues, people in a hurry to get somewhere. So it's Uber people are people who get to meet anyone in the streets.
You use Ubers oftenly?
Yes.
I know I do. And the thing is, like you mentioned, we get into their space, and then some of us even start telling them stories about ourselves. Yeah. And so is that what inspired this story that you wrote about, this confession?
It was one of those things.
Right.
I'm also inspired by dialogues with people. Yeah, I can get into a bus and just start having a really deep conversation with a total stranger.
Right.
Happened even after I wrote this story. I was afraid she would recognize me. She didn't, and I was like, yes. We can have.
Wait a minute. So he's become a celebrity overnight. So you had you are inspired by dialogue because the story itself is very conversational.
Yes.
So why did you choose the characters that you chose? Why did you choose? Okay, first you've explained why you chose an Uber driver, but then there's a soldier involved. Why that twist?
Well, originally when I started working on it, I started typing it on my computer, and I had all these characters in mind because it's a whole night, and there was no way that I could just have one guy in the Uber for the whole night.
Right.
So I was going to start with these drunk campus ladies, and they are messing with the radio and singing along and pissing off the driver. That's how I was going to introduce the driver. Then I was going to go into a businessman who is going to a hotel to meet a stranger, and he's nervous about some kind of a meeting or something. And then there was going to be Charles. But the more I thought about it, Charles is a soldier.
Yes.
The more I thought about it, the more Charles's story just got more and more convoluted. So I decided I was just going to focus on him. Then on the afternoon when I was going to write it on my computer, the damn thing crashed.
Oh, the computer crashed.
Yeah. So it crashes, and I just, say, okay, I have a few hours on my hands, so why not just start typing it on my phone?
On your phone?
Yeah.
And so how long did it take you to write all these things? And first of all, had you even thought about the premise of the story? This is how it's going to go blow by blow? No. Or you were just writing as you think?
Yeah, when you start, any writer knows this. When you start, your characters just take you wherever they will take you. You don't sit to, develop some sort of a spinal cord. At least I don't. When I start writing, I'll just go with it, whatever it takes me.
There are people who are saying that, the story really talks about very serious issues. I mean, you have the issues to do with, our soldiers in Somalia. Do you think you gave a true account of how things are, or was it just your mind going wild?
That was just my mind going nuts.
Okay.
Yeah, I just went out there and just came out with the most insane thing I could think about.
Because the other thing is that it also talks about relationships.
Yes,
Charles is, talking about a long-lost love. I mean, you have so many issues coming together. Yeah. How are you able to make them flow? Because the whole story really flows up until, is it 5 a.m.?
Yes. So that's the beauty of dialogue. When we can start a normal conversation about a sticker on a wall, and next thing we are talking about is Syria or something.
Right.
Right? You never know where a conversation will take you. Yeah, so you just let yourself go, and if there's some sort of a chemistry, it really depended on the chemistry between the two main characters.
All right.
Yes, so we got to examine the issues of romance, a little bit of philosophy, and there, what is life, all those things. Yeah.
Does it say some of the things that you are going through as a person, Charles? Because it was talking about life, living life to the... I mean, it had very, very interesting, issues that people deal with on a day-to-day. Can you say that also your writing sort of like reflects you as a human being and what you go through on a daily basis?
A bit, yes.
A bit.
Yes, because I like to do things outside the confines of what the society wants.
Okay.
Right? I could share a small story. Like in December, I went to Malindi and we went on a boat ride. And I can't swim.
Alone?
No, me and a bunch of friends.
Okay.
Someone paid for the boat ride way into the ocean, right? And I decided, I can't swim, but the ocean was just calling to me. I needed to get into that water.
Wait, is this a real story,
yes,
or is
yes.
this fiction?
No.
I
This
have
is
to
real.
be
This
very
is
clear.
This is real. So, the ocean was just beckoning at me. You have to get in here. So I just wore the life jacket, and the guys were like, "You can't swim. No, don't do this."
Right.
And I just got right in there.
And you got right in there.
Yeah, and just my life was dependent on this life
right.
jacket. If something unstrapped back there, I was going to.
How was the experience?
Lovely.
Lovely.
Okay, at first I was scared, but then the guard, the person who took us in there,
the lifeguard.
yeah, he kept telling me, don't freak out.
Don't freak out.
Whatever happens, don't freak out.
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, whatever happens.
You only live once, I guess.
I know, yeah.
That was also something in the story. All right, so now at least we've gotten the reason why you wrote this story. Talk to us about the reaction after. Did you expect, because you are a writer and you've written quite a number of articles before, but this one was different. Why do you first of all think it was very different? Why did it grip so many Kenyans?
Okay. I think people felt challenged. People felt like they were not living enough. People felt like they could do something beyond what they were currently doing. And yeah, I think that resonated with so many people. Yeah, actually even more than the soldiers part of it. Yeah.
Do you also think that, for any story, it was too dramatic and it was so juicy because all of us love a dramatic story. Do you think that Kenyans also just loved it because it was a chaotic scenario?
Totally. Yeah, like I have this scene. I think everyone knows what scene I'm talking about.
Just talk to us about it.
Oh, really? Right here on TV?
As long as it's not the one that he gets out of the car.
It's that one.
Okay,
and
no.
I have people asking me about it all over. Like, why did you put that in there?
Right.
And I'm just like, it just dropped itself there.
It just dropped itself.
Yeah.
What part of the story is the most interesting for you apart from that one?
Kenyans Road.
Okay.
You see where the guys just get out of the car and just have
And you're
pizza
eating pizza.
Yeah. That felt so relaxing. I felt like I was there with them, like I was just watching them.
It's so confusing because on one hand, I had really believed that this story was real. And then here you are just talking to us and saying that you felt like you're in the story yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, the difference between that and other scenes was that sometimes I saw myself mostly as Charles. I don't know why. Yeah, and I saw myself just messing this guy up. But when it got to that point, I felt like I just left them to do their thing and just stand aside and now, relax and get them to enjoy it, the chemistry that they are built together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's now talk about the reactions afterwards. I mean, you've written the story on your phone, you've posted it on your social media. Did you expect the kind of reaction it got?
No, not in a million years, never. Yeah. I was expecting, normally when I post something, I can get 10 likes. 6 likes, maybe 30.
30 if you're lucky.
30 if I'm lucky. Yeah, a few comments here from, people
friends,
who follow.
from your friends.
Yeah.
First of all, it's always the friends who are, behind you.
Yeah. At some point, it felt like my muse was, going to sleep. So I decided to give writing a rest for a bit. But then this story kept coming back, and I felt like, oh no, Charles, your muse is sleeping. So you just chill. When you feel that punch in the night, just wake up and write it.
All right.
But then at some point, I just couldn't hold it any longer, so I just started typing.
All right, let's talk about the movie. They, after the story was posted online and it went crazy on social media, you have producers who came out and said, this could actually be a really cool movie. Did you expect that at least? Did you in your wildest dreams expect that?
No. I never expected anything beyond 30
writing.
Likes in this
30
story.
likes.
Yeah.
And how many likes is it at right now?
I think I checked this morning. It was about 7.6K.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
5 point something K shares.
Right.
Yeah.
So give us a bit of detail about the people who came out to raise funds, I understand, and get this film on the road.
Raise funds. Wow.
There's so many groups online and everybody is saying, we need to raise funds to do this. But I know that there are some producers who came out and said that they would want to, work on it.
Yes, I definitely have producers who are really interested in doing it, turning into a big feature film.
All right.
And I'm so excited about that. I can't wait. I can't wait.
And is it any writer's dream to have their work appreciated to the level that it has, to the point that now it's going to be a film?
Yes, Stephen King once said that the worst fear of a writer is oblivion. You don't want to be out there and nobody knows that you write. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about you being a student of law. Are you going to have that at the backseat first of all, and now concentrate on the movie?
No, I'm already in the home stretch. I'm almost getting there.
What inspired you to be a lawyer?
My mom worked in the judiciary.
Okay.
And she used to have all these files around her.
Yes.
And these cases started intriguing me, especially the succession cases, and people are fighting over land, and all these stories there are things that touch on people on a day-to-day basis. And I think that had something to do with it, because even when I was a kid, the teacher would walk around asking, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
I want to be a watchman. But me, I always wanted to be a
said they
lawyer.
want to be a watchman?
A lady I went to school with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I salute her. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
All right. What is the one thing that you'd like Kenyans to learn from the story, to get out of the story, apart from them reading it and talking about it in the office and everything? What is it that you'd want them to not to leave their hearts?
I want people to, just let your heart. The heart is never right. Okay, it's right to some extent. Sometimes it's wrong.
Sometimes it's wrong.
Yeah, but I want people to let go, leave. If you want to fall in love, don't refuse to fall in love just because you're afraid of getting hurt. People get hurt.
Have you gotten hurt?
Yes.
But you're willing to do it again?
Yes, I've gotten hurt, I've hurt. It happens.
All right.
Yeah.
So apart from love, what else do you want people to understand and decipher from this story, from your story?
The decision you make, I want you to ask yourself, why are you making that decision? Why are you taking that job? Why are you applying for that? Are you basically just being motivated by the finances, or is it something that will actually make you happy?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So I'm sure there's a lot of conversation and questions online. We'll be taking a look at them shortly. But for now, though, so you were, quote unquote, an Uber driver for like a few minutes or something as you read the story. Come with me. Let's see if you can be able to hack reading the news. Do you think you'll be able to do it?
Yes,
definitely. You are a writer.
Yes.
And of course, you have to read.
I like a good challenge.
Most of the time. Or you like a good challenge?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see how you work this challenge out. Okay? So what I'm trying to prepare for you here is the